The U.S. Supreme Court will weigh in on a case that could have a serious impact when it comes to the Second Amendment and marijuana. The nation's highest court will decide if cannabis consumers will be criminally charged if they're caught with a firearm. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us live in studio. And Chase, while this is about marijuana, the main issue here is dealing with the Second Amendment.
Karima, that's right. You can't legally buy a gun if you use cannabis. No matter what the Supreme Court decides, that will remain the same. What it would potentially change is what happens when you're caught with both.
Before buying a gun, you have to fill out this ATF form, asking if you're a fugitive from justice, unlawfully in the United States, and if you're an unlawful user or addicted to marijuana. Because even though weed is legal, both recreationally and medicinally here in Arizona, it's still an illegal drug at the federal level.
So you could only have one or the other, so people had to make a choice.
Raul Molina, the chief operations officer at Mint Cannabis in Tempe, says customers coming into his shop ask him what the rules are on a regular basis.
But it's still a huge concern, and we hear it all the time.
Now, some of those rules may be changing. The U.S. Supreme Court recently accepted a case that will decide if people who are caught with a gun and weed should be criminally charged or not. Attorney Julie Gunnagle, who is also the state director for NORML, a marijuana advocacy group, says if the court upholds the lower court's decision,
it will change the criminal law implications.
Okay,
it's going to mean that people could feel comfortable that they will not be charged with a felony under 18 USC 922.
But made it clear, it doesn't mean you can legally buy a gun and have a medical card or be a recreational user.
It will not change the ATF problem for folks who are buying and have to check that box. If you want to answer honestly, then you can't have both guns and marijuana.
Gun advocacy groups we spoke with are for the change, like Charles Heller, the co-founder of Arizona Citizens Defense League.
We're not either encouraging or discouraging the use of cannabis. We believe in making things better for the individual and their rights, provided they don't harm others or damage property.
So is Molina, but says if the change does happen, people need to be responsible.
If you're going to be out and you're going to be drinking alcohol, you shouldn't be playing with your gun. If you're going to go out and you're going to be smoking cannabis, you shouldn't be playing with your gun. It comes down to responsibility of the individual.
Now, the Supreme Court is expected to hear oral arguments on this case next year. And just out of curiosity, I looked it up. If you do lie on that federal ATF form and they catch you, it could land you behind bars for up to 10 years. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you.